So real
No,
quick, you said that you stopped by to like give your tithes and all that, and I'm all for that. But what do you think about like churches now, like just honing in on tithes only? You saw like recently, some pastor at a church was asking to people to bring their tax returns in, like
mm,
to. And for me, the reason here's one big reason why I stopped going to church. 100%. I used to go to Pilgrim Rest, and love that
okay.
church, right?
Wow.
I used to, bro. I was there for years. Like I loved it when Pastor Thomas was alive, rest in peace, or Bishop Thomas. But
Mm,
anyway, it got to a point where on the back of the pamphlet they broke down how much you should tithe based on your salary, and that made me so. I was
yeah.
like, dog, are you serious? Like they really broke it down, starting at 20,000 to 200,000 a year. You should be tithing this, and I'm like, I get it. Like people are supposed to tithe their 10%. That's what it says in the Bible. But when it gets to the point where you're like putting it in your face, like, yo, if you don't do this, you're not gonna like, in a sense, get into heaven, or you're going against the word. That threw me off. So like, what's your thought
Yeah.
on that?
No, no, I'm right there with you. Like, if there's anything that could deter me from, like, well, there's a couple things I'd say that deter me, but one of those would be the whole tithing and giving money to the church aspect and everything. And they had, I forget what the dude is, but those like mega preacher dudes. They had the black one. They always show that clip where it's like, ushers, close the
Yeah.
doors, trying like saying, hey, close the doors until these motherfuckers give us money. Or they had another clip where there was this dude saying like, all right, yeah, like I need a commitment of $1,000 from someone, and someone's like, oh, I only have so many hundred. That's not enough. That's like, what do you mean that's not enough? I'm giving you what I choose to give you, like, and whatever I give you is enough to me. You know what I mean? And it's between me and God, not you. You don't need to know my tax return. You don't need to know this. So that issue is hell annoying. I remember back when I was a kid at my church, Phil's Memorial, shout out. At that church, at one point we had like they had not communion, it was so they'd have you'd have your offering, and like one thing where it's offering, so you have to get up and like walk in, put
Hmm.
it all on the plate and everything like that. And then they'd have a song or something like that, and then they'd have your uh your tithes or whatever, right? So two separate events where they're asking for money, and then if it just happens to be like a special occasion, they may ask for another donation there or whatever, right?
Fundraiser. Yeah.
Now at my church, they just make it all like, all right, we got one thing, it's offering and tithes or whatever, and you come down, you put down whatever you want. One, my wife's church that she used to go to, like that one, they didn't even have like a period in time where they like ask for offering. It's just when you walk into the actual like congregation area, there's a little box and you could just slide in your, you know what I mean? So it's like so non like, out there in your face. And I think that's the way churches should do. At the
Hmm.
same time, I get why some churches do want to like showcase people giving money because maybe like it kind of encourages other people to do the same.
Peer pressure, shame.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm with Don where it's like, yo, like y'all getting that heavy and like that focused solely on just the money aspect of it. That's where church becomes a business versus like, hey, I'm giving back what God gave to me. Not to mention, there should be no mega churches whatsoever. If you want to have a big ASS church because you have a lot of people going, that makes sense to an extent. But I don't want to hear nothing about like, oh yeah, we need to have this jet for the preacher. We need to have this. Or preacher needs nah. Because and when the people look at me saying like, oh, like you only gave $1 in church today. Yeah, that's cool to your church or to my church. I gave $1. You don't know what I gave to that church or to that.
Yeah.
Not to mention the church don't necessarily need that money as much as maybe this poor homeless man over on the street corner or whatever, right? So the way I see it, if I give money in any aspect, whether I'm giving money to the church or whether I'm giving money to Salvation Army or maybe not them, I don't know how quality they are, but like if I'm giving money to a homeless man, if I'm giving money to one of you fellas because you're like, hey yo, like you got $10 you can let me borrow, and let me hold, some shit like that. Like if I give money to somebody else, that's me doing God's work, giving. So the way I look at it, I'm not looking at like, all right, my 10% has to go specifically to this church that I'm attending. My
Mm.
10% is being spread across, man. I'm giving it to somebody that, I'm not getting a benefit from per se. So
It's
I'm a horrible person to, confirm whether or not like, the thoughts on tithing from a traditional church standpoint, because the way I look at things, I'm like, oh no, well, I do it this way. Whereas I think traditional, most of the people in my church, for example, they side with you in the sense of like, all right, I'm supposed to give 10%. Anything above that is an offering. Like if I feel like it, but I'm not obligated.
Yeah.
Although a lot of the older traditional church members, they probably would be like, yeah, I give my 10% at the bare minimum. I'm obligated to give anytime they have something to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was just
Yeah,
curious because I
it's
seen that
funny.
the other day and I'm like, come on, bro. Like, you asking for tax returns and all of that. And it just took me back to why I stopped going. And it does suck because there's a part of me that like misses going to church and I miss the camaraderie and the congregation and like the music and the
Mhm.
word. But I feel like it would all get lost because I'd be feeling a good way. And at the very end, they start playing music because it's offering time. And you look at the back of the pamphlet and it's like, dog, all that you just gave me to make me feel good spiritually is gone because now you just care that I didn't give $22, but instead I gave $15. You know what I'm saying? So like I kind of stray away from that, and I've always thought about going back, but every time I'm ready to almost try another church, I see another example of how everybody's money hungry, and it's like, man, miss me with that. I'll just keep praying every night, have my relationship with God I do at home, and I
Yeah.
think I'm cool.
Which that's
Yeah,
probably
I'm
the
like,
one. That's the number one thing first and foremost. Your relationship with God. I feel like a lot of people in church, it's just like a hobby to them. Like yes, they're Christian or they believe in God and so on and so forth, but they're not going to church to worship God or to have that connection. They're going to church to gossip or they're going to church to be seen and so on and so forth. So there's different reasons, and as long as you have a connection with God, like I mean, I used to be going to church every single Sunday. That's not the case now. Like I go when I feel like going type deal, you know what I mean? I go and try to help bring my kids up under the faith and so forth, but I'm not going religiously because I'm not that concerned about the religion as much as I'm concerned with like, let me have this relationship with God and get into heaven. I feel like there's a lot of people that'll probably, if there is a heaven, getting into heaven that aren't quote unquote your default Christians because a lot of it is again more of a business, more of a hobby, more of whatever else besides what it's supposed to be.
yep, yep.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
as a person that does go to church and so forth, I will say I appreciate and I like where you're at in that path and wanting or having that desire to go to church. I myself would recommend, hey, if you're familiar with Pilgrim Rest, try them out again. Maybe they have revamped or changed some of their things since this last time you went. And
Hmm.
if not that, talk to people more than welcome. My the doors are open to our church. You can come to my church. I will say a lot of those things you talked about, you're not a fan of. There may be some of that. I don't think it's like money grubbing and all that, so forth and whatnot. But there's a lot of variety there. I know Harold has a church. I know his brother Chris, he went to a church. I don't know which one it was, but it's kind of like one of the bigger ones. So
Hmm.
there's a lot of variety out there. It wouldn't hurt just to one random day be like, hey, yeah, like let me see what's popping at this church. And if you
For
like it,
sure,
great.
for sure.
If it's not for you, whatever. But shout out to everybody listening and watching the review. Hey, come to church, go to church. It's
Oh
all
yeah,
good.
for sure.
You making me think of
See,
that movie, Don't Be a Menace. Don't ask no questions. Like, how
Right.
come the preacher needs a new car? Like, how
And
come
that's
he
the
needs a new
funny, like
house?
it's funny because that's like
go ahead.
supposed to be the joke, but they have like legit preachers out there that are like that, like legit.
Exactly.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
It is what
Yeah,
it
but
is.
what's your thoughts, Quincy?
That was my thoughts.
Oh, okay.
No, I haven't been to church in a minute. I haven't really been to church. I used to go, growing up, religiously, no pun intended. Um, like, that was part of the family, part of the thing every Sunday. We're going there, going to Sunday school, doing that up until, and then it got to the point where it's like, the hypocrisy of it all, just like, hey, this person doing this person doing that at church, this pastor's cheating on his wife, this, that, and the other. So we end up start going to church for a little bit because then I went to a couple of different ones. I even went to the mosque for a little bit because my brother was into the Muslim. So I was doing that for probably a year or two. But yeah, the whole money, the whole tithing is kind of like the whole tipping thing. I was like, why do I have to feel obligated to give you 20% or this percent? I should be able to give you what I can and when I'm able to, what I feel is good. Not, I shouldn't feel obligated to give a set amount because you put that parameter on me. But like I said, I
Yeah,
haven't been to church in over 20 years, I would say.
yeah. For me, real quick, I feel like it definitely has been a turnoff, and I'm very much in the same boat as Don. I don't go as much anymore. I don't necessarily have a home, but I do have a whole lot of people that I've known from those days and those years, especially in the black churches. So they know my face, they know my dad, they know all their family, all that stuff. So I'm kind of still in that fraternity of knowing people. Um, and a lot of the leaders that are doing things downtown are still like, if you want camaraderie, if you want to be able to reach the black people of Arizona, they're going to still lead with churches. But I will say the only other connection I can make is that a tithe in some way feels like a tax. And people have issues paying taxes because they don't know all of which and where their money goes. You know, what is being sent to who, who's being served, you know, how much is being wasted on administration, overhead. And it seems like there's a similar issue with that in church, where you're like, we've been paying thousands of dollars and we may see a subtle improvement or a subtle renovation. But other than that, it's just to keep the lights on and to get certain pastors, you know, well, we got to take a trip to Africa to be able to help and spread the gospel. And it's like, do you, or is that like a free trip to Africa for you? Like, you know, like
Yeah.
there's just a lot of things like that that you start to be like, well, do we have any say in this? Is this like a whole democratic situation, or is it kind of like we're still anyways? So I think there's issues too where the money's going, how much you're being taxed, and if you agree with where that's being spent.
Yeah.
So I
It's
think
like
that
the
that's
old
an issue.
school, like, I went to the church in the old school black churches where they always had, oh, this is the building fund or this is the roof fund. And like, 20 years later, nothing changed on the roof. Nothing has changed. Like, you're giving this money. Like, I literally went to a church for, like I said, decade plus since I was a kid, all through my teens. And they always had a certain fund for a certain project that the whole time I was at that church, I never seen that project get done. So yeah, that's one thing you notice too. We get, where is my money
Yeah.
going? Is it going toward your second house, or is it going towards this? Is it going towards your kids' private school, or is it going towards the church? Like, what is it going to?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
But
what
yes,
else to do with
that's
y'all?
church and black churches in general overall. But again,
For sure,
it,
for
it,
sure.
it, it is what it is. What y'all end up doing for the day, or what have you been keeping busy with today?
Harold?
Girl,
Shoot. Been busy with different things. Finally get a day off, like Tom was kind of discussing earlier before we started, of just when you get like that day to just actually just chill and relax and be with family, it's nice compared to, working daily plus side gigs and all that stuff. So this is a nice break. I'm glad to see y'all for sure. Chilling with the grandparents, catching up. They've been waiting to celebrate with us for Easter, and we're now a couple weeks beyond that. So,
mm,
um, just enjoying the day.
nice. What about you, Don?
Saying well, I was saying earlier, like I'm enjoying the day, but it wasn't by choice. So unfortunately, our main vehicle, the transmission went out, and y'all know when it's the big T, it's a wrap. So I have been dealing with that, and instead of getting it fixed because it's way too much, I just allocated the money I had saved to get it fixed to just end up buying something new. So
Okay.
we're getting our car dropped off from Carvana on Tuesday. I got a little just updated little Chevy Equinox. Needed just I was already in the process of looking for something newer and something bigger because the kids are growing. But when life says, "Oh, you ain't finna wait, we doing it today," that's kind of the situation we was at. But I look at it as a couple of
Yeah.
blessings. Number one, it's like, okay, get it done now instead of procrastinating. And number two, it was like a forced break. And honestly, I feel incredible because I didn't do any Amazon all weekend. And I've been really kicking it with them and just being here and at the house. I stayed up late. First time I've done that forever. Slept in late. Me waking up at 9 is like the latest I've ever slept forever. So, but no, it's
Nice.
been cool.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, of course.
Uh, so how was the whole your online experience? I don't think it's a sponsorship or an ad or anything, but like, was Carvana like that dope, or did you toss up between
I
going to a
gotta be
dealer, going
honest,
to used car
yo.
lot,
It
whatever?
was it. it's almost like I kept saying this is almost too good to be true. It was the easiest experience I've had ever, bro. Like
Wow.
I went from getting pre-approved in a minute and a half to the trade-in. That part was easy. The picking out the car you want, looking at all the specs of it. If you wanted the Carfax report, you could do all of that. The application for the finance, everything was so streamlined and easy, and it took all a matter of 20 minutes tops. Signed everything I needed to. Sent him whatever like documents they need to see. Your license, your proof of insurance, because obviously you got to update that. And yeah, I mean, it's not done yet because they shipped the car on Tuesday. But even that, the shipping of the car, everything, all the fees added attached to it, like cake. It's a cakewalk. This is almost that's what I'm saying. It's almost too good to be true. And if it is this easy as it has been, I'm never going to another dealership again,
Oh
ever.
wow. Okay.
That's facts. Until
That's
like,
yeah.
I'm years down the road and I'm balling and I go for like my, retirement car. But for like my everyday need something new or whatever, I'm never going back to a dealership. This was way too easy.
Yeah, they make it like that. I heard good things
Oh,
about that.
And honestly, and I'll interject even more. If it is this easy, I'm gonna say it's up for dealerships in the future. It's up. Like I was
Pretty much
chilling,
is.
bro, literally watching playoff games in the background. Shout out to the Nuggets, we out here. While buying a car, like it's up forever. I'm never. I'm serious, bro. It's up.
Yeah, it's
wow.
already affecting them. I heard and stuff. It's been affecting them over the last couple of years. But yeah, that's dope. I was a little
So
hesitant
wow.
on doing all that, but
Dog, they
No, I'm
dropped the
surprised.
car off to you at the house. What are we talking about?
But I'm
Like,
surprised though that they handle with the title and everything for your existing car. Like how did they like they'd send an inspector or they just like we're gonna drop off one and pick up the other? Like I'm interested to like
I think that's what it is. And again, I'm gonna find out Tuesday, but I think like as they drop it off, yeah, they're going to because they give you two options. One, you can go pick up the car, which I mean, there's a Carvana right off of 83rd and Bell, so it's maybe a 20-minute drive for me, so that's not even bad. And then they've got one in Tempe and other locations, but or they drop off for you. So I'm assuming that once they drop off, the same car that you're gonna trade, they'll just put on there. But they want like confirmation, of course. So like you confirm like the mileage on the odometer, and then you confirm like is it indeed your car, how much money do you owe on it, and you get little things like that. It's just you provide them documentation, and I'm sure
so
like all
okay.
of that on Tuesday when we do the swap will be handled. But again, dog, easy, super easy.
how does the negotiation part work? Like, I mean, like, do you even have that ability to negotiate and be like, all right, I'm only paying this and some like
I didn't have to do that, so I'm not sure. There was a price in mind of the car, and the car. Could I have negotiated a couple thousand less? Would I wanted to? Maybe, but like it was within my budget. The monthly payments are well within my budget,
Mhm.
especially, and they offered more than what I expected with the trade-in because again, and I'm
Okay.
transparent. The car is the 2016, the one that I'm trading, has like 123,000 miles on it, transmission issues, and I put that.
Yeah.
Little, nicks here and there, a crack in the windshield, and they still offer me 3,500. So I was willing to accept 1,500 to 2,000, and they offered 35. So for me, I'm like, knowing all the issues that it has, and you still offer that amount, I'm with it.
that's
So
All
what's
right.
up.
so far the experience has been good for me. I'll take it.
That's what's up.
Dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as me, I didn't do much today. I just woke up, got cleaned up, went to the store, got some stuff for dinner, and just chilling. Shoot, my leg was hurting, my knee was hurting last night. Like I was walking a grip, like dude, getting old. Nah,
That's
because
because
I
you just had a birthday.
That's the oldest thing I heard in my life. I was walking a grip and my leg hurt. He didn't even say
dude,
I
for
was
real, my
moving,
knee was
I was
killing me.
jumping.
Like I
He said
we
I was
did like
walking a grip and my leg hurts.
dude, my knee was killing me, like because we were walking all downtown Seattle, and there's all the hills and all the stairs, and I looked at the Fitbit. I hit like damn near it was like just shy of 10 miles or whatever, and I haven't did that in a minute. I walk, but not crazy. And plus. I don't really go. I don't work out like I used to or I should. Now I need to, but lazy ASS. But yeah, dude, my knee was killing me last night. I'm there walking with a limp and stuff for a little bit. But so I woke up, bought some stuff so I can make some compound chicken for dinner, make some cookies for later, and then I just lay down and got now. Before you know it, it's 1:30. I was like, oh, okay, let me
I
get on
was
this
switching
chat.
to quinoa and spinach.
It's crazy
Shoot.
talking about, walking and injuries and things of that nature. And like, I mean, obviously, like, and everybody does it. Like, as you're a kid, you're like, oh, that'll never happen to me. Or you don't think about these things. Like, like you figure you're going to lay down and go to sleep. You're going to wake up and be like normal, but you slept the wrong way. Like, how is that even a thing? But apparently, you get to a certain age and that is a thing. Like, got to make sure I got like the pillow situated the right way and whatnot, or I'm, adjust my body, or like my next day is a wreck. It's not like it's the end of the world. It's just that, like I'll be rubbing my neck the whole day and I'm like, it just takes a while to get over, just like hangovers and stuff like that. Back in the day, you know, drink till like what, 1, 2, 3, 4 a.m. in the morning, wake up and go to work the next day. Now it's like if you were to drink, the
9
hangover is like the worst thing. You feel like you're dead, and it's like, yeah, I can't. No, no, I'm not gonna be able to make it to work for the next day or 2 days. What it's the fact that age actually ages you. Like these things happen when you get older. Looking at your parents, like, dang, like how do they not have the energy? Just yesterday we were with
You
the
still got a
kids.
couple
They
weeks till you turn your birthday.
Yeah, that gonna happen. And it ain't like I'm looking at celebrations. Look like, dang, 1 year older. You know what I mean? But yesterday we were out with the kids. They had this like little Disney pop-up thing in Goodyear where they had like all these food trucks and like
I
almost
wanted to
like
go to
a
that.
farmer's market kind of deal, but all
Mhm.
like Disney oriented and whatnot. And so obviously it's out in like the sun and everything, but like it's nice overcast. It wasn't bad weather-wise, but just being there from I think it was like 8:30 we got there, and then we ended up dipping out at like 12:30. So roughly like 4 hours. 4 hours just being on the feet, not even walking a long distance, just kind of walking back and forth and everything. I don't know. Like I felt like I was about to pass out. The wife, she's about to pass out. The kids, they're just, still full of energy.
Doing their
Like
thing.
by the time we're walking back to the car, but it's crazy. And I'm like, man, like, is it that I'm just out of shape? Is it that I'm old? Is it that I didn't have enough, like, healthy foods or water? Am I dehydrated? I don't know what it is, but it's one of those 4 or 5 things that's like making me so like
Mm.
past my prime type deal. You know what I mean? And it all kind of circles around to it being age, which
Mm.
if you look, if you wake up in the morning, you're like, how old do I feel? I don't think any of us would feel like we're older than like, 40 or, you know, uh, hell, maybe even 30. So I'd say maybe probably I'm in my 30s or something like that. But the fact that we're not is kind of, it don't make no sense to me. But, again, you go to sleep, you wake up and you're like, oh, now it makes sense.
Yeah, that's
Hilarious.
what I'm saying. Like yesterday, because we started like around, I want to say 11, around 11 o'clock, and then we didn't get back. I didn't get back to the car till like 9. So we were just walking all dang day. But it's all good. Then standing because I didn't realize at the freaking soccer game, like people stand the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
dude, they ain't gonna sit down in front. I was like, dude, sit your ass down. Like, I had to stand the whole freaking, and I don't like standing still. Like, I don't mind walking necessarily, but like I said, up the hills and the stairs would that's what messed up my knee. But like standing still for a freaking hour sucks. That's just always my be my thing. I just don't like standing still. I like walking. I don't like standing still. It's just because I don't know, bad in my feet or whatever it is. But it just
Yeah, when
I
you
never been a
walk, you
fan.
get a little bit of relief because it's like, all right, now that
Exactly.
foot's no longer like, supporting me for a brief second, but
Yeah.
still relief nonetheless. And again, you're active, you're moving, so you're not thinking about it, I think.
Like I said, it is what it
Hilarious.
is. I ain't
I'm
gonna
glad
front.
that
I ain't
too,
gonna front like
but
I'm a superhero and stuff. I shoot if I'm hurting on shoot, I ain't feeling it. But like I said, it was an overall cool time. I have that was like my second time going to a soccer game. It was cool. They won. It was cool. Cool vibe, cool experience. We're hella close. Like I said, I sent you that picture, so we're close to the freaking to the joint to the
Yeah,
field.
yeah.
So It was cool.
Listen, for those watching this pod, I do not condone or subscribe to this old man behavior that they're talking about. Okay, I don't mind standing and I can walk. All right.
Hey,
No, it's
you
not
say
even
that, you
that
say
hilarious.
that
it's
now.
old.
It's just like dudes be saying like, dang, like yeah, I feel young until you hang out with somebody young. Meaning like you go any place they by like, late 20s, maybe even early 30s, and like especially when you're going out with people, you go out and they're like, yeah, we starting at 11. You're like, 11? Who starts at 11? Like you're gonna go to a party that starts at 11?
I'm
I'm asking
different
you, Don.
because I manage a team of youngsters every single day. So maybe it's the atmosphere I'm in, but like I have to be up and about. I'm working in a warehouse. There's no such thing as like old man behavior. And like I said, I manage a team of youngsters that are like having to move all day, and I'm running up into. So I don't know. Maybe I'm like a little more
So,
active, and then after that, I'm out there delivering packages a couple of hours a day. So I
yeah,
can't
yeah.
even mentally prepare to tell myself I'm old. I'm in these streets, you dig?
But oh, so you're in
No,
the street.
Yeah,
and that's
So
the
yeah.
you be going
difference.
out with them after the shift's over with?
Well, no, because I don't like to hang out with 20-year-olds. It just had nothing to do with age. I just
What do
don't
you
mess
mean?
with
What
them.
do you mean? That you're young. That you're
I am
young,
young. That don't mean I want to hang with them. They're idiots.
Yeah.
Because they're young.
I
But
would
I don't like.
definitely say
I
Shoot.
don't hang
I
out with
would definitely
YNs.
Shoot.
say I would definitely
nah,
All right.
because
say
like I
get
was
you
saying,
some.
it's not even when I was younger, I didn't like standing like Carol. Remember, like we were at a club or whatever in Vegas, like standing in line, like, dude, while you standing, I'm like doing laps or whatever, because I just don't like standing still. So it's not just the fact that the old thing, but it's just I don't like standing still. But and like I said, now it's like I work in a call center where I'm sitting on my butt like half the time. Like back in the day, like if when I was working at retail, whatever, when I'm walking all day, it's no big thing. Like you said, you in a warehouse, you active all day, you get your steps in all day. Like I average like 3,000
Yeah.
steps a day. Like what the hell? Like but yeah, so if I was active, I had a job where I was active, I probably wouldn't be tripping. And like I said, I haven't been
Yeah,
working
but
out in a
that's what
good
I was just
minute.
gonna say. I would say just get y'all an active hobby or something to do to make sure that you're obligated to do it, because otherwise
That's the thing.
if you have a choice, you ain't gonna do it most days. But if you
Yeah,
go be part of like a running club or a bowling league or whatever it is, then next thing you know, like
exactly. And that's why I
you
just
get
actually bought I bought a because we were talking about with the homegirl doing more active stuff, and I bought a pickleball set. So we're gonna start doing that pickleball, especially since it's about to be nice out here. So we're gonna start doing that on the regular. So that should
Bro,
be
I
cool. That'll
just
keep me walking.
for the first time in years, I finally signed up again for a gym membership because right they're building an EOS. Well, actually, it's about to open. No joke, like a minute and a half from my house. So now I have no excuse. I legit pass this joint every single day, and
Mhm.
it's staring me in the face. So now I have no excuse. I've always had an excuse like,
some.
it's too far. I don't want to drive 15, 20 minutes. I ain't got that kind of time. Bro, it's in my backyard now. So I have no excuse. So I signed up. It opens up next month, I think. So starting next month, I'm gonna.
So
I have no excuse. I can't say I don't have time because like, nah, you can slide up there and do a little 45-minute hour workout if need be. Plus, Jordan wants to start getting in the gym more openly, so I'm gonna start taking him with me. So we about to get it in again, my boy.
That's what's up.
so that's good to
That's
hear.
dope.
Yeah.
I try to exercise and right now like the gym aspect was like I only went to the gym back when I was playing ball and that's why I went to the gym for just to play ball. But after that, and it's like, all right, well, I still got to get in shape and still be active somewhat. So we got a treadmill that I'll walk at home, and like you got your different exercises and stretches you can do. We got the that next playground like interactive like play system, and they have workout things on it. So that would be my quote unquote hobby of staying active is doing those things, and obviously having kids
Mhm.
running around with them and whatnot. So I feel like I'm all right there. But like Quincy, I got a job where I'm sitting down like, yeah, pretty much 8 hours of the day or like 7 out of the 8 hours of the day.
Mhm.
I'm sitting. So yeah, I do need to be more active and things of that nature. But again, going back to the young aspect, like I feel like I got the energy, but you do again 4 hours in the day just walking around or whatever and you can hop back in the car and you're like, dang, like, all right, I took a nap. I had to take a nap after that. That's where like the energy ain't what it used to be. So, but again, I understand that and I accept that because that's part of life. But I will also acknowledge that, like as immature and as stupid and as much stuff that I say right now, like I don't see like I look at my parents at my age and I don't see nah, I think I'm hella immature. I think I'm hella young. I
Hmm.
may not be young and stupid like the youngins you got like that you're like supervising or whatever, Don, but I still feel quote unquote young at heart.
Oh, for
So
sure.
so I have in my head thinking like, all right, yeah, like I can vibe, I can chill, I can hang. But at the minute when someone's saying like, all right, yeah, we're gonna go out, to such and such the function, it's gonna start at 11. I'm just like, damn, like, all right, I don't know, like, so how much minutes after that can I stay? Because I ain't staying like a whole hour. I mean,
You know what though? I'm gonna
there's,
be honest. Even
huh?
even that's not an old thing. That's just like a don't sound fun thing. Like you're not the function ain't gonna start till 11. Like no, dog. I need to be out and about earlier. You want me to leave the house at 11? That's not even an old thing. It's just like do I
But it
really
can
want
be
to?
fun though. It can, because like so you guys were talking earlier about like stand up live and the comedy shows and stuff like that. I took my wife to go to the Nate Jackson. Nate Jackson had a comedy show at stand up live maybe like 2 weeks ago, right? And it said nine because they got the two shows. They got the 7 o'clock show and then they had the 9:45 show. Figure, all right, it's gonna be like more laughs or whatever if we go to the late show. So we go to the late show, and one we were standing in line, like we get in line at like maybe like 9:30 or something like that. They don't actually let people into the venue until like 10:30. This 9:45 show, mind you. So like the first show obviously carried over, went longer. We go to the show, had a blast, it was fun, dudes hella dope. We get out of that motherfucker at like I'd say maybe like 1 o'clock, right? So that's how long it went on. So like, all right, that's cool. Well, no, I take that, but it probably went on to like 12:30, but like we didn't get to the car until like 1. Still had the energy then, so it's not like I guess like because it's gonna be something at 11 doesn't make me think like, oh, it's not gonna be fun because we were still looking forward to it and we still have fun with it. But normally, and again, we quote unquote had it planned and prepared. But if it's
Yeah.
just like a random, like, hey, what are you guys doing? Well, at this time we're gonna do blah blah. Like, I have to prepare, I guess is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Like, I can still have fun, but I only have so many hours of fun in me. So I'm so used to let's go out someplace at 8, and then like I'm back home before midnight. Very seldom is it that I'm like coming home the
Yeah.
very next day. So
The only the
I
only
think
thing I like to
it's not the
do
funness.
the only thing I like to do that like you pull up late or whatever is go to the casino. The casino's 24/7. I'll definitely like I'll be at the house and if it's 10:30 I'd get an itch or something like that. I'll be like, you know what, man, let's go pull up to the 11 o'clock, 11:30. Let's go pull up to the casino. I'll do that. Which
I can see
I
that.
did last month and that was a vibe. Did great on the blackjack table.
Nice.
That's right
But
when
yeah, no, that's the only
the
thing
numbers
that
go
that just
up.
what's up?
That's right when the numbers go up.
Oh, for sure. It does.
Minimum
It
bet
you
is
know what,
now
it is
50. What?
because I got there a little bit before. I don't remember when it was, but yeah, it was minimum $15 a table or $15 a hand. And then I left that table. We walked around, went back 20 minutes later, and then it was at 25 a hand. So it
Hmm.
does go up, but I did well. I turned like 150 into 400 after playing a couple of hours. So I was up, down to $30, got it up to 600. And then once I came down to four, I'm like, all right, I'm done. So that was a hell of a time. Want to go back.
That's
Can't
Nice.
wait.
that's what I
Which
haven't
one
been
you
to
go to?
casino in a minute.
Desert Diamond. They opened that
Okay,
Desert
yeah.
Diamond at like 2 minutes away from the house. So
Well,
That's funny because that's 2 minutes away from my house as well. So like when you're talking about the gym, it's like, all right, yeah, you going to the gym, I'd be going to the
I've been to
casino, and I
casino.
can't do that. So that'd be bad. That'd be bad.
hey, you can do a lot of walking there.
yeah,
Uh,
I
I
might have
haven't
to
uh,
been
do a
to
one,
lot of
casino in
walking
a
back
minute.
after I lose my car. So yeah, nah,
true, true.
You
nah,
said I got
What you
no
gonna
shoot.
say,
choice but to
Harold?
walk back. That's funny.
I was thinking about this topic about AI because it's been everywhere, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's going to be a short topic or whatnot. Because again, this will be a shorter pod. But I just wanted to take you guys' temperature on whether or not you're more of an optimist or a skeptic on it, because the way I see it, I feel like it's so easy to be negative and doom and gloom over it, and like it's going to take this and eliminate that, and automate everything and put us out of work and cause a lot of strife, I guess. But I don't
Mhm.
know. I'm trying to think about people will use the example of if it's able to create something new, like find out the discovery for getting rid of cancer or like eliminating
Yeah.
certain, ailments, whatever. It can crack the code on that. It could also, in the process, create a super COVID, So it's like, is that worth the squeeze? Is it worth all the potential risk for the hope of aging longer or getting rid of some of the issues that we have now that we can't out of our brain think of because it can develop based off of patterns. It can develop these miracle cures and miracle discoveries and stuff like that. So I'm trying to stay on the side of optimism myself, knowing that there are so many landmines and so many things that could happen along the way that could kind of set us back. I don't agree with how it's being done, where like that's all that people care about. That's all the stock market is riding on. But I think in the end, it'll be a better use case than Google. It'll be a better use case than just going on social media and wasting your life, whatever. But actually asking it like it was originally designed for. The internet was originally designed to be an information superhighway. I feel like it can go back to doing research and getting information and being more productive than just brain numbingly, time wastingly, just entertainment focused, which is I think what a lot of internet has become. So, anyways, those are my high level thoughts.
I can
But
give you
anybody
my
want to jump in?
answer. I can give you my answer in short. I I don't think it's hard for me to be optimistic about it. The biggest thing about AI that I'm not a fan of and that I'm not looking forward to is the life dependency on it. I just feel like it's getting to the point where we're gonna have to solely depend on AI for everything that we do. And that's the thing I'm not the biggest fan of, right? Like, it's bad enough we already have to depend on our phone for everything, right? And now, certain restaurants use the AI to be able to order, and then we can't just speak to a normal person anymore. Like, even like me with the Carvana thing, like I think that's a great idea, right? That you can now order a car online and you're essentially using AI for that. But now it's going to get to the point where like you have to use AI for everything, and your sole dependency is going to be based on a computer in a sense, right? And is that going to be great for, I guess, down the line because our kids are learning how to be dependent on that? Sure. For me growing up with we're I think we're the last generation to where like we grew up without it half our life and then half our life with it. So I think because I'm still in that mindset of like doing things quote unquote the old fashioned way, and now knowing that in 10, 20 years down the line there's going to be an opportunity to where like I'll never have to go to a store, I'll never have to talk to a human being again. It's kind of scary. And the fact that AI is just going to be able to, like, in a sense, outsmart even like the human brain and come up with things, I don't know how I feel about that. So it's hard for me to be a little more optimistic on that because, again, mine is sole dependency on this program in a sense. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yep.
Like for me, no surprise, I'm more, I guess, negative or pessimistic about it. And like I don't necessarily want to be, but and I guess to clarify, like the actual aspect of artificial intelligence, definitely I see that promising, or I'm optimistic of like, oh, there's so many great things that can be done with it. But the pessimism or the negativity comes in the fact that, yeah, there's so many things, so many great things that could be done with it, but the people, us people, the way people are and how it's going to get utilized doesn't seem favorable. Uh, Definitely, like I agree with the Don sentiments in the sense of like, bluntly, like, yeah, we're just going to be lazier because of it, and it will take away from some people's jobs and whatnot, but it could also create new jobs somehow, some way. But just the fact that I think, like, I can't really think of a great analogy or example right now, but like Chat GPT, right? So people use Chat GPT to like, hey, help me come up with the recipe to like, that's great. It's gonna help you become like a better cook or whatever, right? But then it's only a matter of time before someone's like, hey, Chat GPT, help me come up with, this scheme so that I can like, get in this girl's pants and da 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 da. Like, not saying that exactly, but like I can see people using this artificial intelligence not for the betterment of society, but hey, for the betterment of my pockets. I know like this, thing you're going to create is supposed to, I could have Chat GPT help me like help people work on their weight loss, but rather let me help it work on, making these people more addictive to cigarettes or more addictive to this or that or so on and so forth, just kind of like the same thing with the internet. Like when the internet first came about, it's like, oh, hey, you have the world at your hands. That's great. And the internet certainly still is great, but there obviously is like a lot of negativity about the internet as well. There's a reason they have a quote unquote dark web, like there's good and bad, and I feel like with artificial intelligence, as great as it could be, there's probably going to be a lot more negative, I think, unfortunately, that comes about with it. And I'm not looking forward to that, but it is what it is. It's going to happen. You just got to be prepared for it. So that's my sad outlook on that, I guess.
I feel you. Like, I have to take. I agree with pretty much everything each of you said. Like, I try to look on the positive side of things, like Harold, but at the same time, it's like what Brian was saying. Is like, as a human race, like, look at what we have done with everything. Like, everything we've done to be turned into something created. Like, the atom bomb. Like, this is supposed to be something that was monumental, life saving, and we created destruction out of it. The internet, like you said, the dark web, like 90% of the internet, they said, is full of hate and negativity and stuff. Like, compared to something that's positive, is supposed to be amazing. Which, like you said, it has its great moments, what it has done, what it has translated into. But on the flip side, there's more scammers, there's more criminals out there than people that's doing positive. Like, I just saw something this morning that's funny. Like, we're talking about AI. There's a group of people that I'm not gonna say who, but like, a group of people basically are creating AIs for the Black community, and saying like, oh, this is a Black owner of I made this purse and selling to the Black community, and that they're not Black, obviously. Or I
Artificial.
made this and showing like these Black people that's making this product or making this concert, doing X, Y, and Z, and then but it's AI, it's not real. And and then the people are like, oh, I bought this because it's a Black owned business, it's this, that, and the other. And they're influent, quote unquote influencers are and celebrities are promoting it also. And our situation right now, this how this generation is, they piggyback on all these influencers and celebrities, like they're speaking the gospel, and don't realize like they're being freaking lied to too. And they're like, oh, they didn't realize like, hey, this is not real, this is not real, this is
That
not.
that that's a
But
very good point, absolutely. And I didn't even think to touch on that, but yeah, like they already have, advertisements and whatnot where it looks like it's a legit real life person saying XYZ. And there's so much now it's so realistic where it's like, is is that did they really say that or whatever? You know what I mean? Like especially with celebrities, like because people can take like clips of you and whatever, and they can get you to say whatever they want you to say. Like someone, obviously, we're not, popular enough or whatever, but someone could easily, like, take this video once it gets put on YouTube, and then they have me, Brian, saying something like, "I hate insert random like person or whatever," right? And it would look like because hey, like I could see him saying some negative stuff or some wild stuff or what, and so how are you supposed to be able to what are you going to be able to do to decipher between what is legit and what's false? You know what I mean? Even
Yeah,
with
deep
the
fake.
like the photoshopping when photoshopping came about, right? Where like there's so many different things that could be negative, and that's the scary part of it that has me on that pessimistic side.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be have to come up with a new criteria for what's real, because you're not going to be able to just use visuals as testimonial and evidence of, like, you can't always believe what you see and what you hear, especially, yeah, like voice recordings takes 3 to 5 seconds of someone's sampled voice to replicate anything. And I've even tested it, and so it's whether or not people are using it for what they call like ethical reasons or if they're doing it for nefarious reasons, right? I know there's a lot of different ways that people use it. The media is one way. I know of one person that they've actually almost worked themselves into a part-time position rather than a full-time position, where they're like a programmer, right? And so they're
Mhm.
using all four of the free major platforms, Gemini, Claude, ChatGPT, and Copilot, and they've like basically assigned each one of them a role in a company and saying like, you're going to be Jack, you're going to be James, you're going to be Sandra, and basically they all report to each other and they all help build this application and they check in and they respond to deliverables and they complete the tasks, and he is just the manager of this small company that they're working for him. And at the end of the day, he turns in his application, it's checked, it's ready to go, it's done way faster and way more efficiently. They're constantly iterating, and boom, he's been able to, automate the majority of his work. Now, is there a problem with that? Is that some conclusion he would have got to already? Is it a waste of time to him to actually have to go through all that? Are we getting paid for our effort hours? Like, hey, you didn't put 40 hours of effort hours of work, so you're not getting 40 hours of paycheck. Like, no, like I'm not here based off of widgets or based off of an hourly pay. I'm getting a salary. So whether I do
Mhm.
it by myself or whether I do it with help, the point is you want the outcome. The point is you want the application. And if
Yeah.
the application is done, who cares? So there's those types of things that we have to deal with is that person at fault? Is that person efficient? Does the company just wish they had that technology to use so that they wouldn't have to blame it on an individual or whatever? Like, hey, why are you doing it this way? We wish we could have done that so that we couldn't have to pay so many people. But anyways, I think that's where it's
Even
going.
not to interrupt, my bad.
Go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, even with my job, like, and even the previous one, and it's funny because they when they came out with it, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna do this and this," but like a previous job and this job, they like, "Oh, we're gonna transition into this AI system for like the after hours call." So when you're all on calls or the customer calls after hours, they talk to the AI system. And they like, oh, but don't worry, it's not going to get rid of any jobs. They said that at the last job, and they said this one, like, we're not going to get rid of any jobs. You're totally safe. It's just for the after hours. But then in the same breath, they saying like, oh, but we're not doing the people that are overseas anymore because now we're doing this. But so it is getting rid of people's jobs. Like it got rid of human jobs over here. It didn't get rid of us right here, but it got rid of the people's in
Yes.
this state. In this state, like oh, it was people in California taking care of our calls. Like the last job, it was people in like the Philippines or whatever, like at Comcast or whatever. It was like people in the Philippines or people in whatever. Then they got rid of that, and like, but at the same sentence, they're like, "Oh, it's not gonna get rid of people's jobs," but like, it got rid of their jobs, so eventually, it can get rid of us too. Like,
Yep.
but they don't want to say that they. But yeah, like I said,
And
so
that's
it's
why you
getting
always
rid of
just gotta
people.
be on your toes and be like ahead of the game. And like, obviously there's certain things that AI can't do at the moment. Just like, back in the day, they used to need to have like manual labor to, do this job or that job. And they came up with some type of machinery that was able to resolve it. It's like, oh, they're always going to need nurses, and that used to be back in the day. You always need nurses. So if you go into the medical field, you always have a job. But they do have like robotics and things of that nature that can do jobs of nurses. They have like those robots that quote unquote perform surgery. So definitely
Yeah,
like
so
with
that
any job, there's nothing I can think of at least that is secure inevitably. So, again, you just have to stay ahead of the curve. So if you see like it coming for your job, you have to start saying, okay, well, what's the next thing? It's like, all right, well, they got AI doing like my garbage job or whatever now. So, okay, well, do they need people to work on the AI for the garbage job, or do they need like what are they going to need actual people for still? And I think about it too, if it ever gets to that point where it's that crazy with AI, like taken over like the majority of all those things. Like what Don said, you got Carvana right now, and if like they make it to where it's fully automated and there's nobody involved, you know, at some point I imagine people are gonna start being like, I'm sick of having to deal with like these stupid machines. Like I want to talk to a live person. And then like, the wave will start to come backwards where it's like, all right, yeah, you do have more people in this industry where it's like, oh, I can speak with a live person versus having to speak with the automated system. Even with customer service, like if they're anything like me, where a little something about customer service, the minute you call in, one of the first things you're doing is dialing zero, or you're saying representative because you want to get to a live person versus an automated machine, right? So there could be that. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take before things swing back that way. But for now, yeah, it is potential that you could lose your job as a result of AI.
It
Yeah,
already is
yeah.
that way. When you think about like this generation, rather talk to a computer, they rather do the internet, they rather fill out. Even like I said with my gig, they like there's more people that rather fill it out online that don't want to talk on the phone. They like
Antisocial.
it's just like
Well,
they don't have that social capability. They don't want to interact with humans. They want to text everything. I'm trying to ask you like 20 questions and you trying to do it through a text. Like I can get this done in 5 seconds over a phone call or 20 minutes on a dang text or email. It's ridiculous. Like people don't
and
have that concept. It's
in
just
closing, what I'll say for me is in response to that, and just kind of like my overall feeling. I don't think we're going to see AI kind of affect us the way we're talking about in our lifetime. I don't think. I don't think it's going to get to that fully like Terminator 2 Judgment Day type until years down the road. I don't think it's going to hit that. And in response to that, the reason why people of today really would like to text is because that's all they know. You know what I mean? Like the one thing I'll never shy away from is how this generation and the generation after us are raised and what they're raised in. So like I'm not even mad at the fact that people don't want to talk to a human. They'd rather just talk to automated this, that, and the third, because that's literally all they know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like they
yeah.
were our kids, like, Taylor and all them 13 and younger, they were
yeah.
raised in this era, and that's all that they know, and that's all they're going to know. So I'm a little more optimistic for them because they're already ahead of the curve. You know what I mean? Like they already know more about technology and everyday, social media than I do, and I'm okay with that. So while I am
Yeah.
not as optimistic about AI, what I am optimistic about is it's not going to affect me personally, until years down the road, or maybe not at all. So, but yeah, that's
And I
it
think
in closing.
We'll
I
see.
think the other thing that is I guess was alarming in some of the stuff that I've heard is that the the route that people want to go with automating things and machines. We've had robotics for the longest. Like if you're like, how do I get something to wash my dishes automatically? Like we have dishwashers for that. We have answer machines that take your calls and and leave a message. Like take a message. You don't have to. Right now, we're obsessed with. I need an AI to become my personal butler and be my slave. And it's like, no, you don't. Like if you need a task done, if you need a floor washer, get a Roomba. If you need an something a driver, get a Waymo type thing. You don't need to have a person walk around and clean your dishes, grab your things, serve you lunch, all that type of stuff. There's ways to do it more efficiently and more effectively that don't require you to have something walking around and serving you. Like we have this obsession with being dominant over some sort of species, and people are going to obviously get nasty with it, but it's like that I think is most problematic with a lot
He's
of
talking.
the
He's not wrong.
Just want to clarify, not we, uh, people. But if you
I
want to say
don't
we
think it's
as
just
well,
white.
then
I
so
don't.
forth. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We never were trying to control people. I'm just saying. But this
It's
is a different
humans.
subject.
I mean,
Yeah. It's human
there's some
nature,
truth behind
unfortunately. And then that takes back to what I was saying, like we as a society, as a species, has that aspect of just turning stuff into the negative, unfortunately. But not all of us, obviously, but we done more harm than good, unfortunately. So that's the sad truth about it. Hopefully, like I said, it could be great. It will be. There's going to be some great things about it. But on the flip side, there's going to be some bad things with anything. Shoot, you can say that about anything and everything. The Waymo, the Amazon, the freaking like take this and make it more efficient, but it takes the job from this. Like the what Waymo cars, like it's taking even when Uber and Lyft first came out, like it's taking money from the normal taxi drivers. So from Redbox to freaking Blockbuster, like from Amazon Prime, but like everything's gonna be, it's gonna have some positives and it's gonna have some negatives just unfortunately, nobody's going to be happy either way. Somebody's going to be complaining about it either way. You're going to have somebody happy and somebody's going to be mad.
But hey,
True.
Harold, I know you got to get going here in a few, but give me your yay bully take. I've been dying to hear it.
My able to take. So it's not bad. There's the beginning didn't start well. I almost was like, ugh. I didn't like where he was going with it. I did not see the live performance of it, which I heard it's more of like stadium sounding type music. I've also heard some of the early leaks, and it definitely sounds way more polished and different than that. Even though there are some of the songs that are repeated. But yeah, I wasn't mad at it. I I'm glad I heard it, but I'm not like a fan of his now
Mhm.
because of it. My life isn't transformed from hearing the synths and like the beats and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Um, it's been so long since I heard it, and I only heard it once. But I will say that yeah, it was better than I anticipated. I kept my expectations low, and I was like, you know what, the sound's actually pretty good. And the songs were 2.5 minutes, so this is actually one of those scenarios where by the time you're about to get tired of the repeated beat, it's on to the next. So it was just long enough for a lot of these songs too. So
Got you, Brian.
we'll start with that.
As the designated Kanye fan of the group here,
Resident resident Kanye guy. Yeah.
yeah, surprisingly, I'm kind of on point with Harold, at least as far as the overall. Like, I mean, I listened to, I don't want to say hyped about, but I'm like, all right, cool. Like, finally, we get new Kanye. And I listened to it, I was like, all right. And that's the most accurate I could describe it as. It was not moving like the first time I listened to it, and I've been listening since it was available, so meaning like daily, like on the way to work, coming back from work,
Wow.
on the way to church, coming back from church, I was listening again because I knew we were probably gonna talk about it. And like uh yeah, it's better than pretty much the last 3 4 albums he put out. I'll say that, which is
Hmm.
crazy that I say that,
Three,
yet
four goes
this
back
one's
to
kind of like,
Donda.
yeah. And again, this one is better than that, better than all of those.
Wow.
But it's still like, meh, like there's a decent amount of songs where I'm just like, meh. And even right now, after listening it to all those times, is meh. Some of them was like meh, and it's like, oh, now I like it. When the first time I heard it, there's like only 2 tracks. I was like, all right, yeah, these are dope. Then, listen to it a couple more times, like, all right, I got like 5 or 6 tracks that are dope, so on and so forth. But it's been that way. And it's better than the other albums because there were those 3 or 4 or 5 that were dope. Whereas the other albums, it's like, all right, I listened to it, is the song's cool, but like on Don's tip, there's so much more music out there I could listen to instead, right? And it's kind of the same. I just appreciate that this one isn't as wild and stupid as all the other ones. But there are things that were stupid. One, Harold seems to be cool with it, but I did not like the fact that like there is no song or maybe 2 songs longer than 3 minutes. I'm sick of that. Like it's basically I'm getting a snippet, like it's as if it's like, all right, hey, there's a little preview of what the album's gonna be. But you mean to give me a song that's like a minute and 40 seconds? Before I can even get into the song, it's like on to the next one. So I'm completely opposite there. And then
Well, he had a couple instrumental breaks on the longer ones too, where it was like, okay,
well,
well, he could
and
hear
and
a
and, and
guitar.
talking about instrumentals, what was that Circle song that he had featuring what's his name? Like it's supposedly a song. It's like a minute and 30 seconds, and it's like a chorus, and it's not even there's a couple songs where I'm like, what the fuck? And then there's like at least 2 or 3 songs that sound the exact same as the other song. So those parts of it were kind of like, yeah, I'm not cool with it. But then you have songs like Preacher, that was dope. You have songs like All the Love, hella dope. The Peso Pluma one, that's all right. It's not Kanye like, it's weird. But so there's good and bad. And because of that, it's a meh. If I had to put a number on it, I'd put a number as 5. Because 5 out of 10 is not good, I'd probably say, okay, well, throw 6 on there, maybe 6.5. But it's not like, again, old Kanye, as cliche as it is, but
Hmm.
I just like the
So
fact that
wait,
it's
so
not
you
these
just said
past
one
four
thing.
albums.
If you said at best this is a 6, what would you put Donda at?
Donda is probably like on a good day 4 maybe. I did
Have
not
you
like
listened to Donda
Donda.
before?
Wow.
What?
I'm not a Kanye fan, but to say Donda's a 4 is like ridiculous. Donda was amazing. That was his last
Nah.
good album. Donda
I
2
would
was
say
not, but
it's
the
closer
first
to like an
Donda
8,
is
but
Donda is like
Donda 2, like that, like I really wasn't big
they're
on
not
any
in
of
the
those.
same breath.
Obviously, I
Donda 2
listened
is
to them.
not.
Obviously, I still have them, but I just
yeah, no,
not like.
you're right. Well, let me just say this. First of all, I haven't listened to Bully and I refuse to. I just wanted to get your guys' take, but Donda 2 and then the Vulture 1 and 2, those last 3 albums were not good, but Donda is like it's up there.
I take that down now. You threw Vultures and Vultures 2 and they're like Vultures 1. I did enjoy decently, so I'd probably put that up there along with this one. But I didn't classify that. I didn't consider that like a Kanye album myself. Is Kanye and
It's Kanye and it's
Ty
Kanye
Dolla.
produced. That's
Ty
a
Dolla
Kanye
Sign or
album.
whatever. So I guess if we want to include those, then yes, all right, yeah. This one's roughly around that level of Vultures 1. Vultures 2 was it's been a while, so I'd have to go back and listen to that one. But Donda, yeah, like I just didn't like Donda, so I put this
Interesting.
one but over it.
Now I was just
And it
curious. I
probably
have
actually would if this album actually if there's a couple of songs where if they were just like a minute or a minute and a half longer, I could probably see this on like a regular rotation as like not album of the year, but a very good like it'd be like a most improved player album where it's like, all right, yeah, this is much better than what I expected type deal, you know what I mean? But because it's
see,
too
but
short, I
even
can't.
if you guys like number one, I don't plan on going to listen to it. I have no desire to. Number one, but number two, even if I remotely had a little desire, hearing your guys' reviews doesn't get me out of bed even more. Like the fact
Yeah.
that Kanye no longer has an album where people go get excited about it or go like it's monumental, life changing, or whatever. And you know, not maybe not every album you put out has to be that, but when your first like 6 albums are that, like I want that. You know what I'm saying? Like there
Yeah,
wasn't a
yeah.
Well,
time where
here's the
you
reason
know.
why I would object. Um, is because for one, I think differently when like now I'm thinking about buying albums, right? And if I'm buying a vinyl or I'm buying an album, I want it to play start to finish. I'm not stopping and skipping the needle. It's got to be something you can play through start to finish. This is definitely not one of those. But
That's kind of unfair.
in
It's
the
short
era of
enough to where it could be though.
No, but go ahead, Harold. Go ahead.
but in the era of like, you have basically solidified your legacy with Kanye, where there's things that you like about him, and I figure it's just like Wiz Khalifa and Currency. Like they both have been around since 2008, 2009. They're still coming out with songs. And even if you don't like the project, if you like 2 or 3 out of the 8, you can add that to the rotation of like dope songs or things that are part of their discography that you enjoy. So even if you only like 5 out of I think it's like 20 songs on his Bully album, like
Mm-hmm.
even if you only like 5, it's another 5 to add to like, okay, I'm glad he offered that to the world. But I mean, there is so the one album that I agree that I was on your level, Don, that I haven't touched, haven't went to, was in that era where he was making all those mini projects with people, like the
Mm-hmm.
Kid Cudis and the Pusha T's and the
That
Nas.
Yay, the
I
Ghost, and all. Yeah,
I
yeah.
never listened to the Ye album. I never listened to that one. So that was the one I did skip. Um, and nobody said that it's worth actually going back to, and I don't miss it. But so sometimes, there is a point to take your stance and say, no, I'm good. And
That's
maybe
cool.
this is yours. You're not missing anything, but
I got you. I'm curious. So you said moving forward, you'll only buy a vinyl if it's there's no skips, because like there's classic albums with skips. Like there's even albums that came out last year that I love. Like I love the Clips album. I could skip a song. I love GNX. I could skip 2 songs. I love the JIT
yeah.
album. I could skip a couple songs. Like, does it have to be perfect?
Mhm.
Because that's impossible.
No, I wouldn't say perfect, but I would say so. It's one of those things of like you wouldn't mind it if it's on versus I need to skip this because it's annoying me.
Got you.
It'd be like if you liked the Chronic album, right, or Chronic 2001,
Hmm.
but like Pause came on, and you're like, okay, I can't play this ever. you know,
Yeah. Because even
you
now,
got
like
Jake Steve.
the last vinyl I've acquired, because I haven't gone back in a while, is uh ASAP Rocky's "Don't Be Dumb." Absolutely, I
Okay,
still play that album. I love that album,
that
man.
has some
And
skips.
it's
Yeah,
yeah, but it's got like 2 or 3 skips on it, but like it's not like my ear bleeding type skips. It's just like, it's on in the background. And this is where I can go get something to drink or go in the other room and it's while still playing, whatever. But I was just curious.
so yeah. Now, like
Um,
the last couple purchases I got, just because I know you're curious. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm always
Was that
curious. You know what it is.
that Dinner Party album? I don't know if you heard of that group, the super group with Terrace Martin, Robert Glasper, Ninth Wonder, and Kamasi
Yes.
Washington. They just come up with
Yes.
like solid jazz infused hip hop kind of stuff. So Dinner
Nice.
Party, that is a great 9 track. Well, they have a 7 and a 9 track album. So that you could play start to finish. And then the No Worries, like Anderson .Paak and Knowledge. Um,
Okay.
the white that you could play basically start to finish. So 2
Nice.
solid pickups, but just like more of that like mellowed out vibe that when I want to put on a vinyl, that's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear necessarily, you know, something
Brian, I
crazy.
don't know if you peeped yet, but I know how you like that Destin Conrad Whimsy album. He
The
2 weeks
extras,
ago dropped the deluxe of it, and it is phenomenal.
it's
It's a
good, yeah.
more, well, like six, I think it's like 7 more tracks added to it.
Okay. Okay.
It starts at More Love. So you'll see on the track listing once it says like More Love, from then on down, it's another like 7, and they're all solid tracks. And so
Yeah, it's good.
you would enjoy it. You would enjoy it.
Well, I'll have to look that up then. Okay, I got
Yeah.
that. I got Dinner Party now. That dude Akeem Ali that I always be talking about, he has a new thing coming out. Another texture tape, I guess number 3 or whatever. So I gotta do that whenever that one comes out. I feel like there's something else that was supposedly newer on the radar in the near future, but I can't think of it at the moment. But fortunately, these be recorded, so I'll just play this back so I can remember these 2 tracks at least, which is good. So
I know
appreciate
we
it.
keep
Thank
saying
you.
it. Yeah, I got you. I know we keep saying it, man, but I've been on a 2026 to me has been an R&B year so far. I've been so much more on an R&B kick. The hip hop, like, on the rap side hasn't been super exciting for me, you know what I mean? And the ones that are trying to come back hasn't been, there's been a single here and there, I like T.I.'s, Let Them Know and things like that. I am looking forward to Ross's upcoming project because I like that song he put out
Oh, he has
with,
one.
huh?
He has one. I didn't hear about
Yeah,
that.
he dropped one with French Montana and Max B, which is really
So,
good.
so wait, are they acting like the Paris one didn't happen?
I think so. That Paris one came and went because it wasn't good. I think it was on the low lackluster side of Pharrell's production. I think they all know that because then Pharrell came back and started producing at a high clip, especially that song with Ti. That song is like out of bounds right now. But yeah, I mean, rap's
I
been
think
cool
it's
here
I
and
think
there.
it's the beer tier. The B tier is coming out. Like I'm looking forward to the Ransom project that's coming out. He's had a couple already this year.
Hmm.
Real quick, because I know Don, super fan, Jay-Z, all that stuff. Do you feel like he's going to be timing an album release around his, shows and the
I
Reese
think
picnic
I
and all
think
that
it's
stuff?
I think it's gonna come out. I don't know if it's gonna be around the shows, but I mean, if you watch the interview that he had and he said like last year we were on the defense and this year we're on
Okay.
offense, that's talk of like, oh, we're applying pressure. So, and I don't think it's just with 2, anniversary shows. I believe at the very least we'll hear a verse somewhere. Where is it gonna be placed? I'm not sure, but I do
A
anticipate a
verse.
verse. If we get an album, me personally, I'll with how the legacy acts have been dropping, I think it'll be great. You know what I'm saying? But um, I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited to see what he's going to be doing because it sounds like he is active again.
Hmm.
So, but
What's yours?
again, for me, I'm in such an R&B mode that like if we don't get a hip hop album, I really wouldn't be too mad. I'm still playing Jill Scott's album. Like I played that the other day. Jill Scott's album, Alex Isley's album
Alex
probably
Isley.
hasn't left the rotation, bro. Like that is such a phenomenal. That's in my album of the year conversation for me. The Sasha Keeble one that I told you guys about, that deluxe album. Now Whimsy, I've been
Yeah.
playing that the past 48 hours. Like it's been such quality R&B music, bro, that like I don't even need to touch any hip hop. I've been in such a good space.
Hmm. See.
Yep.
So, speaking of R&B, what's y'all thoughts on this Raymond and Brown coming out this concert tip?
Oh,
I think
Usher.
it's yeah, it's legendary. I won't go, but it's legendary. And I the thing is, I think it's too much legendary music in one night. Because now it's like you're gonna have to cram 2 legendary careers into a 3 hour time span. You know what I mean? I
See,
I
I
don't know if they're
like
gonna What's
I
up?
like I like the proposal people made of like, what if you did a live versus tour? That would kind of be fun.
That would be
That might be what it
super.
is.
That would be well. That's what it's going to try to be, but unfortunately, Usher's going to lose that battle. But it's going to be
What?
a soup.
I don't agree that. No, I don't agree
Do you
there.
got
But go ahead.
Chris Brown is going to watch Usher? It's not
Well,
even a question.
I
You know
I
what?
feel
I'll
like
say this. I'll say this before
live,
we continue.
yes, but
That's my point. If you're going like click play song for song, you have a conversation. But if we're talking about what versus is live versus live, Usher doesn't stand a chance.
I mean, he got
that's
them
On the
roller skates.
performance stage where
Yeah,
he's
roller
just,
skates versus flying in the air. What are we talking about?
yeah, like I
Like
said, yeah, on the performance. I'm not looking at the performance. I'm looking at the odd, the skip, the play for play. So I understand.
versus
I
is all
feel
live
you
though.
on that. But at the same time, not all of them were like that. A lot of them were just like this singing, what right here, rapping right here. Especially that's what it started off as.
During
Just
COVID,
doing it on
yes.
piano.
During
Just on
COVID,
the,
yes.
but
But versus live, like once versus live, and they were in the same studio when it was, and you thought, oh, Marion's supposed to have a better versus because he has better songs, but Mario absolutely washed him because he sounded better. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's when it's
yeah.
live, same with
Okay.
Dipset and Locks. Like Dipset in totality should have had a better versus because they have better
Yeah.
songs and a better just overall just career. The Locks watched them because it was live. If it's going to be versus
yeah.
live, unfortunately, Usher doesn't stand a chance against Chris Brown that will do backflips in the air while spinning with lights. There's no contest.
So okay, so if the music is debatable, who gets the louder screams from the women when they walk out?
Chris,
Yeah, they like bad
Mm.
boys, so it's gonna be Chris.
I'm sorry, dude. It's
I mean,
Usher
Chris is
has.
younger, so I don't know if that's by default.
It's not by
That
default
is
because
that's what it is.
Usher still is a good looking guy, and he was still like that sex heartthrob in the mid '90s to early 2000s. But Chris has been more consistent. Sorry, he just has been, and he's had better tours. Now, when he gets to music, yeah, he doesn't have a classic album like Usher does. Usher's got arguably
Or
three classic albums.
Yeah.
So yes, in that area for sure. But if you're talking about singles, if you're talking about features, if you're talking about just relevancy and all that, Usher doesn't stand a chance. And that's just
Yeah,
honest.
and I feel like in the streaming era, Chris Brown wins every day. But I feel like if you go
Exactly.
to a lounge, if you go to a club, if you hear, doot, 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 if you hear Lil Jon and Usher, if you hear, My Boo at a lounge, like you're gonna hear Usher out more than you're gonna ever hear Chris Brown. Like I don't think they play him at sporting events. The Look at Me Now was a moment, but it's not the jams that he's now known for if you go to one of his
Oh, for
concerts.
sure. That's why I said if you just sit, with your Apple Music next to each other and just play Usher songs, yeah, he's probably gonna win in that regard, maybe. But once you get to like the live aspect of it, and then who knows? I might Chris might pull out a feature that you forgot about on one of those big songs that's like, ooh, because that's what you guys use now. You use like, oh, he wrote for this, or he featured on that, or he produced on this. Like he might win just off of that.
Deuces.
His features alone are
yeah,
crazy.
but
All
yeah,
right.
like they're not coming out here. I thought about it. Like I said, they're going to be out there in Glendale. It would be cool, but I wouldn't like necessarily pay for it. But it'll be cool. I'm glad. I'm honestly surprised they didn't do it sooner. I thought it was like they would do it a year or two ago. But
It's gonna be a moment. I'm not gonna go, but it's gonna be a moment. It's definitely dope for the culture. I mean, it's
uh,
almost like the passing of the baton, like which Usher had to do a long time ago, even if he didn't want to. You know what I mean?
yeah, he already said that. Yeah, he already did that when he took his shoes off and gave it to him and stuff, what have you. So it's already a transition. Because like shit, Usher, I seen Usher before he was Usher when he was like 14, 15, performing and stuff at, I don't know if they had it out here. They used to have a NBA jam for the schools and stuff that they did out there. Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
him doing that. Like he was like 14 or 16. I was in middle school and stuff. He performed and like, but he's been doing it for some decades. So I always, like I said, and he got some classic albums and he got at least like John was saying, he got at least three. And with Chris, honestly, like I said this before, like Chris is clean, he's cool, but I never really got into him super deep, and I never really played a whole Chris Brown album. Like, I'll be honest, like heard some stuff, but I can't say like I heard a whole Chris Brown album cover to cover and liked every track. I can say that about at least 3 Ushers. Like I said, I heard
Don,
some.
do you have a playlist?
I haven't
Like
heard one of
30-track
his
playlist
albums.
with that?
I
What'd you say?
have I do have a pretty significant playlist of Chris, but then like if I want to give you albums to listen to, 1111 is a phenomenal R&B album. Like it's not even just about, it's a great produced, great album, a nice mix of up tempo, slow tempo, like a couple poppy songs. 1111 is good. Indigo's still probably one of my favorite Chris albums. I think it has like 36 songs on there, but Indigo probably is my favorite Chris album that he's ever put out. If I had to really give it some thought, it's probably Indigo. It's probably my favorite Chris album, but all of them are really good. I mean, yeah, does he have a classic? Probably not, but he's got enough great albums to where I'm perfectly okay with his discography.
I ain't mad about it. Like I said, I ain't mad about him, but like I said, I still got Ush, but it's all good. Everybody's entitled. It's all about opinions. There's no right or wrong answer.
So,
Brian, about to get dragged to
we
it.
got to get going, my guy.
Nah, I ain't going, but the wife and the daughter, they were like going like before it even came to fruition. Like, yeah, they're even if it wasn't here in Arizona, they're gonna be traveling. Even if it was
$1,000
international, they would have got their passports and been like, "Yeah, we're bouncing. See you in a little bit." You know, so they're dedicated.
It's gonna be a moment. It's gonna be dope. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it should be clean. Wish they were coming here. I'll think about it, but it's cool. But all right then, good chat as always.
Yep. You guys keep it easy, man. Be good out here.
All right, y'all take care. Have a good rest of the weekend.
Till next time.
Be easy.